We start in Venezuela, where the President Nicolás Maduro said on Friday that he would revive his country's relationship with the U.S. after Secretary of State John Kerry made a statement about Venezuela's internal affairs. Kerry criticizes the decision by Venezuelan court to convict opposition leader Leopoldo López of calling for the violence in 2014 that led to the death of 43 people.
I am evaluating everything that has been done in terms of the behavior of the United States government. That's not how you do things. Venezuela will not tolerate this from the U.S. They go around the world, talking badly, pressuring governments to vote against Venezuela, to do things against Venezuela, and then they put on an innocent face.
This morning, Socialist Jeremy Corbyn was elected leader of the UK Labour Party, meaning the country could have a socialist prime minister in 2020. Corbyn replaces Tony Blair with 59.5% of the votes, a 40% lead over second-place runner Andy Burnham.
Can I start by thanking everyone who took part in this election, this huge democratic exercise of more than 500,000 people all across this country. It showed our party and our movement passionate, democratic, diverse, united and absolutely determined in our quest for a decent and better society that is possible for all.
Jeremy Corbyn, 250.
Thousands of Jeremy Corbyn supporters gathered at Hyde Park in London Saturday to hear the announcement of the Labour leadership election. There were scenes of jubilation when it was announced that the veteran left-winger was elected as leader of the opposition.
Yes, we did! Yes, we did! Yes, we did!
In the middle of the presidential race in Argentina, former Brazilian President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva visited the country for the three-day tour. During his visit, he shared the stage with President Cristina Fernández, and he was declared a distinguished visitor by the Buenos Aires city legislature.
Bueno, tanto Lula como
Lula, Hugo Chávez and Néstor Kirchner, the three musketeers as we have sometimes called them, had a very important role as they were the ones who fought for the cause of regional unity and created awareness among the peoples of our region about who they vote for, because defending these popular governments means defending our sovereignty and the chance to have free and fair countries.
Libres y justos.
The ceremony counted on the presence of leaders of workers' unions who highlighted the important role that Lula has played as a political figure in Latin America.
Lula is a man who comes from a popular movement. He is among the presidents who are evidence of a change we're going through. If there is something that proves that we are in a new era in Latin America, it's that a worker from the northeast of Brazil who has suffered hunger and other afflictions has the importance that Lula has.
Lula was also awarded 2 honorary degrees from the University of La Matanza in the suburbs of Buenos Aires and from the Metropolitan University for Education and Work, which is run by workers' unions. In his speech, Lula spoke of his history as a political activist, leading to him becoming the president of Brazil.
What I have achieved was not so much due to personal merit, but it was rather a consequence of the rise in the political consciousness of the working people and the poor people of my country.
Lula da Silva also attended several rallies where he expressed his support for the pro-Kirchner presidential nominee Daniel Scioli and called for the continuity of the integration policies between Brazil and Argentina. Laureano Ponce, Telesur, Buenos Aires.
In world news, refugees continue to make their way through Europe, fleeing war, violence and poverty from countries like Syria and Iraq. Those heading towards the Hungarian border are hungry and desperate to leave the country before new immigration rules are implemented next week, where refugees and migrants trying to cross the border could be arrested. Hungary is also trying to build a fence along its border with Serbia to stop refugees from seeking help. Meanwhile, the UK, France and Australia have joined in bombing Syria, allegedly to fight the Islamic State. The UN has warned that millions more refugees could arrive in Europe if the war in Syria continues.
We are close to death and we are just asking the Hungarian government to open the way for us.
Meanwhile, many Europeans want their governments to open the borders, welcome refugees and stop causing them. In Germany, 600 refugees that arrived by train on Friday were greeted by a welcome committee. Germany has emerged as the priority destination for many Syrian refugees traveling to the European Union, after Chancellor Angela Merkel announced that the country would suspend the Dublin regulation, essentially granting Syrian asylum seekers a special status. In Italy, thousands marched barefoot through Venice Friday as part of a nationwide protest in solidarity with the refugees. Over 60 other cities and towns throughout Italy, including Rome, Naples, Bologna, Genoa, Milan and Turin, held similar events. The protest was promoted by actors and film producers at the current Venice Film Festival. And we end in Greece, where polls show left-wing Syriza maintaining a very slim lead over conservative New Democracy. Greeks will vote September 20 for a new government in elections called after Tsipras resigned last month. He was replaced by Supreme Court Judge Vasiliki Tano, who is heading an interim government until new elections.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.